Hey everybody, welcome Bots family. I am sitting today with Diane from Inclusible Games. We just wanted to spend a few minutes talking a little bit about what Inclusible is doing and really why they're part of our Bots family. Diane, hi.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So why don't you just tell me real quick, explain what Inclusible Games means.
Well, inclusible means, the term inclusible, it's a unique word, and it means suitable for inclusion. And for too long, we've been sort of putting the onus on our kids and our neurodiverse population to become or to be suitable for inclusion. I think that's backwards. I think we need to make our communities themselves suitable for inclusion. So that's where the name came from, and that's my goal.
So you have experience as a special education teacher in the Senn School District, and you've decided and you've learned from your own personal experience that we can...
Games are powerful.
Games are powerful. Tell us about your games and what you're trying to do with the games.
Well, games create, they have a natural structure to them, so they are a perfect venue for bringing people together,
Yep.
giving them a chance to spend time together. They have a nice structure to them, so some of our folks in our autism community have anxiety issues, and the natural structure that games provide make it easy for them to know what to expect and be successful and know when the end point is and those kinds of things. So I think games, as I've gotten more into it, they're just like the most wonderful tool for bringing people together and helping to build skills.
100%. Why don't you tell us about your experience with Ben?
Okay, so Ben, I've known him since he was 10 years old. He is a dear friend of mine and my good friend's son. He is now 26, and I think the reason you're asking is, well, he's been a big part of my life, and I've learned an awful lot from him. But it was also because of him I had sort of this aha moment that made me realize that I was on the right track with using games. Ben is on the autism spectrum. He has very limited verbal ability, as I do too. And he has limited interests. And so when his family members would come and try and spend time with him, like aunts and uncles and cousins, and it was really hard for them to engage with him, because if you're not going to have conversations, what are we going to do? So through the years, I have been working on trying to help him gain some skills and some interest in playing simple games. And so we'd been doing it on a weekly basis. He was living in a group home when he was 21. I had this one moment where his aunt joined in on one of our weekly game time sessions, and they were playing the game together, and I realized that as they were playing, there was downtime, and they had time for touches and laughs together, and listening to one another. He was listening to her talk, and we know that when Ben is happy, he makes like happy sounds and vocalizations, and so she was clearly getting that he was happy to be there with her, and it was just a really great moment. And as she was leaving, she turned to me and she said, "Diane, this is the most I've been able to connect with him his whole life." He was 21 at the time. So I think it was at that moment that I thought, I've got something that I need to pursue. And with COVID, 2 years ago is when I had a chance to start the Inclusible LLC.
That's awesome. And I think that's, gameplay is natural in families, right? Like a lot of families do, family board nights and stuff like that, but, they're not thinking that this is a way to also connect to those that might, feel unconnectable too. And I think that it offers a great opportunity. Now, with that said, I think what people need to understand is, when you're doing board games here at Bots, and you're doing an activity, whether it ends up being a family board night or if we do individual sessions, whatever iteration we end up coming up with here at Bots, your goal is to not have families hang out with you for the rest of their lives.
Right.
So why don't you tell us what you're trying to do
Sure.
when board games are being pplayed and what the outcome ideally is?
Sure. So when game makers create games, they're thinking about an emotion that they want to evoke. Oftentimes it's an anxiety emotion, so it's a race to be the first one done, or a race against the timer. And for a lot of people, that does make a game fun. For some people, it can be like dysregulating and make you escalate and feel more anxious. So a big part of what I do is find, good games that are a good match for individuals. The other thing I do is I like to, so when somebody comes and spends an hour with me, I'm going to go through a number of different games to kind of find out what interests them and what they like. I usually start with puzzles. So when somebody comes into me or into the room, they're immediately sort of put at ease, because with a puzzle, you know what to do. It's very self-explanatory. And then, so I'm trying out different games. I'm also trying out maybe different modifications to traditional games. Also things like card holders, maybe different techniques about playing as partners to begin with, so the pressure's not all on that one person. Different ways to sort of ease into the games, and then also find out for folks to develop preferences, and then I'm hoping that the family or the support person is learning from our time together, and once we're done, we can do multiple sessions for sure, but my ultimate goal is for people to be able to figure out what they like to do, for their supports to know what works for them, and then they can go off and play without me.
Yep, that's awesome. And I love the quote. The quote from
George Bernard Shaw.
Yeah, I don't know where he is on the note page, but I like that quote.
This is my favorite. So George Bernard Shaw says, "We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing."
There you go. Awesome. If anybody has any questions about Inclusible, we'll drop in the comments Diane's email address. I highly encourage people just to sign up for a session, or maybe an upcoming family game night. There is great connections that can be made through board games. I mean, I've seen it in my own personal experience. I've seen Diane at work here. In essence, she's kind of job coaching our individuals and the families on, how to, connect through social skills and connecting through, board games. So I highly recommend that you check it out. And if you have any questions, again, we'll drop Diane's email address in the comments. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Lisa.
Play on!